because of the virus, I'm going to eat a whole pack of donuts.
Although there are days where that's tempting, right? And I love me some donuts. So, I mean, they do sound kind of good. Hey y'all, I hope everybody's doing okay, given the circumstances, trying to stay sane. That's actually what this video is going to be about today, staying sane through this pandemic. I've written on the blog on Schoolgirl Hustle about college students being prepared, you know, since I teach at a college, being prepared for what's to come. And what's to come is actually the unknown, because here's the catch.
Nobody knows what's to come.
So you have to be prepared, and I mean that seriously. You have to be prepared for a lot of changes in higher ed and college and things like that. So I've already written something addressing that. Now I wanted to just do a video talking about the mental health aspect of this whole thing. These are trying times, and some of you might be at home on the verge of going crazy. Home, eating everything, worried about their weight, obsessing over the news, falling into depression, getting very anxious because of what's going on and the tragedy that's literally outside of our doors. Some people are just having trouble focusing because of everything going on. Having trouble sleeping, weird eating patterns, being really sad, really gloomy, anxious to get back to normal, whatever that may be. Although I feel like life isn't going to get back to how it was for a very, very long time, if it ever does. A lot of you may be all over the place, or you may be that person that just fluctuates. One day you might be feeling pretty optimistic about things, or maybe you're not as focused on the bad news and the negativity and the stress, and then maybe the next minute or the next day you're feeling overwhelmed completely. There's a lot going on here. We need to figure out what's the best way to deal with all of this, right? Because this is the moment we're living in now. I would say, at least for me, one thing that has helped that I need to work on more is planning, having some kind of structure within your day. You need to add in quiet time. If you're spiritual, maybe time spent in the Word, time catching up with your loved ones. If you're working from home, time to work. And also finding a designated area to work in, which is helpful. Finding time to laugh, to do something that has nothing to do with work or the virus or anything like that. Just time to just laugh. Time to kiki with your friends. Virtual happy hour with your homegirl. My best friend and I actually did virtual happy hour, and it was the bomb. So you need to figure out how these components that would have normally been part of your normal life, how you're gonna still have those and modify them for this pandemic, for these stay-at-home orders and this self-quarantine time that we're in. The second thing I would say to keep in mind is to filter your consumption of the news. We're inundated by news right now, right? The death count of the virus affecting certain groups of people more than others, how timely can a vaccine be, and all the predictions of when we can come back outside, the fate of school, the fate of your job, all of that stuff. You need a moment to step away from that. As much as you want to be informed, and as much as we all want to be informed and stay in the know, sometimes too much of staying in the know is just too much for you to bear mentally. You have to think about your mind, your mentals, your emotions, and you have to check in. I'm the type of person, I can listen to the news of the virus all day and then start looking things up and reading the scientific studies and then listening to interviews and just consuming all this news. That's all I've done by the end of the day. And that's not healthy. That is not healthy. Think about if this were normal time. Would you spend all of your life watching the news, consuming it, and not getting anything else done? Not talking to anyone else? Not doing anything else for yourself? No. So you don't need to do that now. You need to make sure you're feeling your best.
Your best.
There's enough out there to make us feel bad and to bring us down. And that's reality, right? This is not something that's fictitious. Reality has enough negativity right now to really make us feel bad. Within our reality, we have to make space for some levity the best way we can, you know? Another way to really maintain your mental health during this time, for me at least, is food. And I don't mean eating a whole lot of food.
Because of the virus, I'm gonna eat a whole pack of donuts.
Although there are days where that's tempting, right? And I love me some donuts, so I mean, they do sound kind of good. But anyway, I digress. That's not the healthy way to go about it. At the same time, you don't have to be this health nut that only eats grass and berries. You have to find some kind of medium in between both. You need to be eating good food, good stuff. When you go to the store, get stuff that's good for you. Whole wheat and whole grain options instead of, you know, white bread. Fruits, veggies, things that aren't high in a lot of fat. And at the same time, you need to get things that you really enjoy. And then have food away so that you can splurge. If maybe one morning you want to do a brunch, do brunch, girl. Make you some pancakes. Make you some omelets, get some crab meat in there if you like meat, if you like fish.
This is kind of making me hungry, so I'm gonna stop talking about food for a minute.
So get things that you can indulge in and things that are gonna keep your body healthy. Along with that, it's important to stay up on your vitamins. I think personally it's a good time to invest in a good multivitamin. You need to be making sure you're getting everything that you need in, you know? I'm a fan of elderberry, Echinacea, things like that that are also, you know, immunity boosters, vitamin C. Do your research and find out what works best for you, and you may need to consult with your doctor to make sure, you know, nothing would cause you any harm. But do your due diligence and look into vitamins, minerals, things like that to keep you healthy. What you really need right now is the strongest immune system you can possibly have. The stronger your immune system is, the less of a toll your mental health will take on it. Because we all know when you're anxious, when you're depressed, when you're feeling really sad, when you're, you know, manic, when you're all over the place, that stuff impacts your health, you know? Being depressed could make you eat more or eat less. Feeling anxious could stir up Crohn's disease or IBS or make your skin flare up or, you know, things like that. So all that stuff is linked, so you gotta keep that in mind, y'all. And then something else that's really important too is sleep. You need to get your sleep, girl.
You need to be getting your rest.
But don't be sleeping all day. Don't be in the bed 24 hours, sleeping 12, 13 hours at a time. I mean, unless you don't feel good or something really is wrong. At the same time, you don't need to be up all night. Try to make yourself tired enough so you can sleep. Try to get out of your bedroom or where you sleep at, because if you spend your time working there or doing a lot of other things there, it may be harder for you to fall asleep. You need to be getting your sleep. That's very important because that's also tied to immunity too. So we need to be taking a holistic approach to this whole thing. All these things I've mentioned aren't necessarily the first thing you think of when you think of mental health, but at the same time, these are things that are all closely correlated with good mental health. It's important to try to keep a positive outlook. It's important to also, I would say, connect with other people. Even if you're quarantining alone, you need to be calling up your friend, call up auntie, you need to call up your grandma, call up Debo and then, call up JoJo and then, give your mom a call, your dad, check up on your homegirls. You need to be calling these people. You don't just let them go through the quarantine without them hearing from you. You also have to remember too, this is not just about you. We tend to get in our heads and we think, oh, woe is me.
Woe is me. This is just me going through this. My life is horrible. What am I gonna do? What's gonna happen to me? Me.
And it's not just you, honey. We're all going through this together. This is, some people have referred to this as a collective traumatic experience because the whole world, you know, is going through this. And also getting out of your own head is going to keep you from falling into a rabbit hole of stress and just feeling sorry for yourself. Call JoJo and them, see how they doing. Give your best friend a call, set up your virtual happy hour. Do what you gotta do to make it through this, but think beyond yourself. That's very important. So if you guys have any more tips to maintain good mental health during this time, comment them below. I'm simply reflecting on my own experiences so far, and this is so fluid. This is all still in progress. We're in the middle of this pandemic. So yeah, I hope these tips help. I hope y'all are staying sane the best way you can, given what's going on. In general, just cut yourself some slack. You're doing the best you can, and you just gotta roll with the punches, y'all. Stay prayed up. I'm big on my relationship with God and my prayer life. So I try to spend a little bit of time every day in the Word and some quiet time and just connecting spiritually. And I think that that's another component that I almost forgot. Your spirituality. No matter what you believe in or what you don't believe in, you have a spirit and you have spirituality. And you need to connect with that. You need to connect with whatever higher power you feel like there is. Or if you believe you're the higher power, whatever you believe, you need to connect with that, girl. Connect with that and really stay in tune with that right now. Because we need to rely and lean on something other than ourselves, especially at these times. That's all I got. I hope you guys are surviving the best way you can. If you can think of some things I didn't mention, please comment below. This is a space for all of us to just be better. You know, Schoolgirl Hustle supports the life of the girl and her hustle. So we all hustling, just trying to live right now, right? No matter who you are. So I hope you guys hold up okay. And thanks for talking with me.
Can't knock the hustle.
Peace.